They say family is everything. But what happens when family starts to see you not as a person but as a bank account? My niece demanded my inheritance. Not asked, not hinted, demanded. And when I refused, I had no idea the chaos that was about to unfold. This isn't just about money. It's about boundaries, respect, and what happens when you finally stand up for yourself. So sit back, because what you're about to hear still shocks me to this day. My name is Linda. I'm 68 years old, retired, and I live alone in a quiet neighborhood. I never married, never had children, but I have a large family. Brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, all of whom I love deeply. My niece Clara has always been different. Smart, yes. Charismatic, absolutely. But also entitled. From a young age, she expected things to come easy. Her parents, my younger sister and her husband, spoiled her endlessly. When Clara graduated from college, she was supposed to start her own life. But instead she moved back home, complaining that life's too expensive. Still, I tried to be supportive. I helped her buy her first car, paid for a certification course, sent money during the pandemic. I thought I was helping her grow, but I was feeding something else, expectation. It was a sunny Sunday afternoon when it all began. I'd invited my siblings and their kids over for lunch. We were sitting around the table, chatting, laughing, when Clara leaned toward me and said quietly, "Aunt Linda, can we talk privately after lunch?" Her tone was serious. I assumed it was about a job or maybe advice. After everyone left the table, she followed me into the living room. She sat down, crossed her legs and said, "Aunt Linda, I think it's time we talk about your will." I froze. My will? I repeated, trying to laugh it off. But she wasn't smiling. She said, "I mean, you don't have kids, so naturally it'll all go to me, right?" First I thought she was joking, but her tone, her posture told me otherwise. I asked, "Clara, what do you mean by naturally?" She said, "I'm the only one who's ever cared for you. I visit, I call, I help. I deserve it. And honestly, Mom and Dad think so too." Deserve it? My stomach tightened. I said, "Clara, my inheritance isn't a prize. It's my choice." She frowned. "But you said you wanted me to be stable. This would make things easier for me." And that's when I realized this wasn't a conversation. It was a demand. When I didn't respond, she added sharply, "Look, Aunt Linda, if you don't leave it to me, it's just going to cause trouble later. Why not settle it now?" I took a deep breath and said quietly, "Clara, I'm not promising my money to anyone. My will is private, and it's my decision." Her face turned cold. She stood up and said, "Wow. After everything I've done for you." Done for me? She'd visited twice that year, once on her birthday, and once to borrow money for a business idea that never existed. Before she left, she turned and said, "You'll regret this. Everyone will see how selfish you really are." That night I couldn't sleep. Not because of what she said, but because of what it revealed. She didn't see me as family. She saw me as an opportunity. The next morning my sister called. Before I could even say hello, she shouted, "What did you say to Clara?" She's in tears. Apparently, Clara had told her that I'd disowned her and said the family didn't deserve anything. A lie, but one that spread like wildfire. Suddenly I was the villain. My brother called asking if I was hoarding money. A cousin said I was ungrateful. It was unbelievable. Decades of helping, supporting, loving erased in one night because I said no. Days turned into weeks. The calls stopped. The family dinners, I wasn't invited anymore. For the first time in my life, my house felt empty. But here's the thing. In that silence, I found peace. I realized how much I had been bending, emotionally, financially, to keep the peace. And for what? To be loved conditionally? Sometimes silence isn't loneliness. It's freedom. A few months later, I received a letter. It was from Clara. It wasn't an apology. It was a plea. She wrote, "Aunt Linda, I'm struggling. My business failed. Can I borrow $20,000 just until I get back on my feet?" I sat there holding the letter, thinking of all the times I'd already helped her. And I realized something powerful. Every time I said yes when I wanted to say no, I was teaching her how to disrespect me. So I didn't send money. I sent a note. It said, "Clara, I love you, but I will not enable you anymore." If you truly want stability, you'll have to earn it. She never replied. Months later, I learned that Clara found a steady job and started living on her own. She stopped expecting handouts. She even reached out again, this time just to talk. We met for coffee. There were no demands, no bitterness, just quiet understanding. And that's when I realized, sometimes the greatest gift you can give family is accountability. Money can vanish, but lessons, they last forever. So yes, my niece demanded my inheritance. I refused, and for a while it broke us apart. But it also broke a cycle. Saying no isn't cruel. It's necessary. It's how we teach others and ourselves that respect matters more than money. I may not have children of my own, but I've learned that family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by boundaries. If you've ever had to stand your ground with someone you love, know this: you're not selfish. You're strong. Protect your peace. Your worth is not up for negotiation. If this story resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had to say no to family? I'd love to hear your story.